Right, good morning. It's still morning. My watch says 1 minute to 11. We're going to continue with this meeting. Thank you very much for your diligence and your patience. Unfortunately, we are facing numerous challenges and we just have to adapt with those. We have confirmation that the YouTube is up and running again, so we can continue with the meeting. I'm going to continue where we left off, and that is 4.5. And we just concluded Councillor Clark, and we are therefore going to ask that Councillor Lentu continues with his 2 minutes. If we may please proceed with the 2 minutes in. Just before we carry on, I think let's just do a roll call and see if anyone is still struggling to get back into the meeting. Rosemary, could we just start off with a roll call just to be sure that everybody is in and that we do have a quorum, please? Thank you.
Producer Speaker, thank you. Councillor Adams.
Greetings, everyone. I'm here. Thank you.
Councillor America.
Yeah, with Summers present, thank you.
Councillor Barnard.
Present, thank you.
Councillor Brown.
Present, Rosemary.
Councillor Carolus.
Present.
Councillor Clark. Councillor Cronje. Councillor Shui.
Teenwoordig, Rosemary, dankie.
Councillor Edie Vigland.
Present, Andros.
Councillor R.G. Vigland.
R.G. Vigland present.
Councillor Frey. Alderman Gericke. Alderman Gericke.
Yes, I'm present. I sat in 2 meetings. Thank you.
Councillor Gom.
Present.
Councillor Greef. Councillor Gotik.
Councillor Gultig present, thank you.
Councillor Hani.
Present, thank you.
Councillor Hector. Councillor Hill.
Hill present.
Councillor Jansen.
Teenwoordig, Rosemary.
Councillor Jantjies.
Present, madam.
Councillor Jay. Councillor Johnson.
Present, thank you. Present.
Alderman Kritzinger.
Present, Madam Present, Speaker.
Councillor Kruger.
Good morning. Present.
Councillor Lentu.
Hi, good morning. I'm still present, thank you.
Councillor Losi.
Present.
Councillor N.M. Lau. Councillor R.M.I. Lau.
Good morning, present, Rosemary.
Councillor Mankele. Councillor Masasi.
Morning, I'm present. Thank you.
Councillor Mbete.
Morning, Marose, I'm present.
Councillor E.T. Mandaka.
Councillor Mangal, I'm present. Councillor E.T. Mandaka present, just struggling with laptop.
Thank you. Councillor F. Mandaka.
Councillor Mdaga is present. He's still struggling with his laptop. The laptop.
Councillor Mrukule,
Present.
Councillor Nakamele,
Molweni Marosi, present.
Councillor Neetling,
Ek is hier, dankie.
Councillor Niaus,
Niaus teenwoordig.
Councillor Ntondini,
Oh, goeiemôre almal, ek is tuis. Dankie.
Councillor Peterson,
Peterson in die huis.
Alderman Petrus,
Teenwoordig, Rosemary.
Councillor Katana,
Katana present.
Councillor Kampi,
Molweni nonke enhlanganweni qampu khona.
Councillor Roose,
Roose teenwoordig, Rosemary.
Councillor Cyphers,
Cyprus teenwoordig, Rosemary.
Councillor Simmers,
Simmers teenwoordig.
Councillor Snyman,
Present, thank you, Rosemary. Just, I made a mistake. It was Councillor Esa that made an apology, not Councillor J earlier.
that's right, yes. Councillor Toto, Alderman Van Niekerk,
Present, Rosemary, thank you.
thank you. Alderman Van Niekerk,
Present, thank you.
Alderman Van Wyk,
Present, Rosemary, thank you.
Councillor Von Brandes,
Present, Rosemary. Thank you.
Councillor Wessels,
Present, Rosemary.
Councillor Van Wyk, thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to continue with item 4.5. Before we were interrupted by the transferring of the load shedding, we heard from the councillor Councillor Clark. She completed her 4 minutes. We're therefore going to continue with the next speaker, which is Councillor Lentu. You have 2 minutes, please. Councillor Lentu. ANC, does anyone going to take the 2 minutes, or can we move on, please?
I can move on, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The next party to speak on this item.
Good day, Speaker. You
Yes.
can't move on. I'm here. How can you say
Okay,
move on?
thank you. Your time is running. You have 2 minutes.
For us as the ANC speakers, these bylaws must start to our community for public participation before we can recommend. And after the community taken their part of the approval, and then after the council for recommendation. So after then, it can be gazetted. I hear that my colleague Charlotte, she said that we will go to the public for public participation. We must not just say this thing, we must do it. Let's implement all these bylaws. We can support after the public participation. We don't need the Sikulume here. We must do it. We must act as it is. When we talk about the George municipality, we don't talk only about the town. We talk about also the location. We are not in Orania. Let's change the thing of George to be Orania. The municipality of George must stop this thing of taking our people for granted. The municipality doesn't want to take the part of our communities, because we've addressed this thing to our people, and our people community also, they ask us, where the George municipality? You must come, Mayor. You will take all your people, to our like Tembalet to Pakastop, all this area. Let's talk, let's come to our people and address this thing. All these bylaws of George municipalities, all is oppressing our people. It's like the old apartheid system, whereby our fathers used to pay for their dogs. That's why
Councillor, can I ask you to please stick to the part?
Maskandi artists.
Councillor, can I ask you to stick to the item, please? We're talking about the bylaws.
Yes, I'm talking
Can we
about these
ask-
bylaws.
No, can we stick to the item, please, Councillor?
Okay. Can Mayor come to our people for this public participation, Mr. Speaker?
I'll ask the mayor. Thank you, Councillor. but
He
can we
was there
stick to
in
the item, please?
Fontaine. We want, he must come also to like the Otembale to hall, not only to library. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is the Good Party. We have Councillor Jay. You have 1 minute, Councillor, the Good Party.
Speaker, Councillor Jay is still not in the meeting. Can we move on?
No problem. We'll continue. The next party to speak is PBI, Councillor Carolus.
Ja, thank you, Speaker. Die PBI het op vorige geleenthede ons concerns oor hierdie bylaw uitgespreek. Ons wil egter net seker maak dat ten tye van hierdie publieke deelname daar seker gemaak moet word dat die publiek op alle vlakke verteenwoordig word en in kennis gestel word. Asook ons waghondorganisasies soos byvoorbeeld ons buurtwagte, ons polisieforums en ander gemeenskapsgeoriënteerde organisasies. Sodat ons dit kan seker maak dat hierdie prosesse wel plaasvind. Dankie, Speaker.
You have a translation, please.
Thank you, Speaker. Futhi ke i-PBI yona ibiseyithethile malanikezela izimvo zayo ngaphambili malunga nendlela eziva ngayo malunga nale migaqo-nkqubo ikhutshiweyo apha. Uthi ke isaphinde yadanisisa into yobana funeka izilo phakathi kwabantu. Futhi ke xa kuzothethwana phakathi kwabantu kube khona zonke ii-forums ezikhoyo zasekuhlaleni ukwenzela ukubana iintlanganiso zizoqhubeka ngohlobo ekumele ziqhubeke ngalo nabantu bazokwazi ukuvakalisa uluvo lwabo ngohlobo abafuna uvakalisa ngalo phambi kokuba thina sithi siyasixhasa lo mgaqo-nkqubo. Nkosi.
Thank you very much. The next person to speak on this item is the EFF. Councillor Kampi, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, as the previous colleagues have spoken, I concur with everything that they have said because we are here for the people. We are just the amount just to forward what they feel and what they want. As Speaker, I would also like to highlight something that I've seen on chapter 2 of page 435. The last sentence there, I think it needs to be edited because it only speaks to male gender as a manager, as if us as female, we don't deserve to be the managers, yet we have a manager here in George Municipality who is a female. So that statement there doesn't speak to her, it only speaks to males. Can it be edited, please, Speaker? And also, Speaker, when it comes to these bylaws, even though you always say that you as the administration, you are going to the public and you are doing all this public participation, but I feel like at some point you are not giving the exact information to our people because our people are always calling us sell out that we are admitting to things that they are not aware of yet. When you come to them,
time is up, Councillor.
Thank you, Speaker.
Could I please ask you to repeat the page and the item so we can get that on record? I just need to, so we can do that.
Okay, Speaker, okay, so chapter 2 is 435, the last sentence there. The last sentence, which
400
is
page 435. Which bylaw is that, please?
Is the bylaw of the amended community service, community safety under the point of which one? Fire safety.
Okay, we've got it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I've brought it to the attention of the administration. That will be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Smart. He's unfortunately absent for today. And the last speaker on this item is Councillor Gulpich. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, everyone. As we can note, on these bylaws have been workshopped And accordingly, I would like to second the recommendation that with these 5 bylaws be approved for public participation and thereafter return to council for final adoption. So I just repeat the last time on C that these bylaws be resubmitted to council after the public participation process, which is very important, and happy to see that what's going to come back and everybody approve on these bylaws. Therefore, I second the proposal made by my colleague, Councillor Clark. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The item is therefore carried. We're going to move on to 4.6. The in-principle approval of the electricity supply bylaw. The first person to speak on this item is Councillor Mbete. You have 3 minutes, please.
Morning, Speaker. Again, morning, everyone. Speaker, this bylaw deals with the provision of the electricity services.
Sorry, Councillor. Councillor Hani, can I please ask you to put your microphone off? You're interfering with the proceedings. Councillor Hani. Thank you. Councillor, sorry, we're going to restart your time.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, this bylaw deals with the provision of the electricity services within the George Municipality jurisdictional area. A regulated electricity supply within the George area is of the utmost importance. For that reason, the municipality must adopt a bylaw to regulate, manage, and control such supply. The electricity supply bylaw inter alia deals with matters such as general conditions of supply, electricity tariffs and fees, responsibilities of consumers, tampering and illegal connections, and measurements of supply. Speaker, this is an existing bylaw with certain amendments which were workshopped with councillors on the 24th March 2023. It is recommended that the bylaw be provincially approved by council pending the public participation. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I propose the recommendation as it is on page 527. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is the ANC, Councillor Manqele. You have 2 minutes.
Manibulise Speaker, ne-councillor zonke ngokwahlukana kwazo. ANC asikwazi ukuyixhasa le bylaw kamasipala azanayo ngoku kwicala lombane, ngoba sikwingxaki ngoku i-challenge yombane yee-units ezitariff bathetha ngazo ezixhomileyo ezisadinga abantu bakuthi bacacelwe, because sikwi-challenge yabahlali abasibuza ngezinto ngoku esifuna thina umasipala aze azozicacisa apha ezantsi kubahlali. Kukho le nto ngoku ivelileyo kwamasipala yee-amps ezikhoyo ezingeka-understandwa still ngabahlali, esizicacisa abahlali abanga-understand kufuneka sithobe imisindo yabo befuna ukuyozivela kwamasipala. Ndifuna ukuyibeka clean ke ngophambi ko-director msonayo umamele ukuthi abahlali siyabanqanda befuna uzoqonda ngokwabo kuni ngale nto yombane, because iyabacinezela bona, ayibafeyva abantu bakuthi abangathathi ntweni. Sinengxaki apha e-load shedding, sisajongene ne-load shedding kacimicimi. Kukho ingxaki yombane ngokwento evelayo onamaxabiso axhomileyo ongabafeyvarisho, nale nto ezi-amps iyi-challenge enkulu kubantu bakuthi. Sisenengxaki apha yombane ofuneke ufakelwe ematyotyombeni, sine-load shedding. Nayo le yokufakelwa kombane ematyotyombeni i-approve yoba kofakelwa umbane siyayicela nayo mayikhawuleze, because sine-illegal connections ezikhoyo apha ezibangela into ye-load shedding, ezibangela uba sinqanda izolo abahlali besiya ezindlini zethu beyosivingcela ngenxa yokulwa kwabahlali ngenxa yento yombane. So sisengxakini ngento yombane, siyacela uba ngaba ilungiswe iziswe bahlalini bayi-understande ngokuba.
Your time is up, Councillor. Please.
Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you. Could we have a translation, please?
Thank you, Speaker. We as ANC, we cannot support this municipal bylaw at all that has to deal with electricity tariffs. We have a problem with the units already, and now there's this new thing that has been introduced of the AMPs. We do not understand it, and the community members cannot even understand it. They come to us and they want explanation, but we cannot give them answers because we ourselves do not understand. So we request that the municipality do come to the communities and explain these bylaws that we cannot explain to our people. We are still faced with the problem of load shedding as it is. It is a challenge that we are all faced with. Now there's this new thing of these new AMPs that it is also poses itself to be a challenge. We have a problem with the installation of the electricity in the squatter camps. We also request that process be fastened as well, because even yesterday there was an incident where the community members wanted to come to us so that we can give them answers. Even yesterday, I want to put it clear that community members wanted to come to the municipality to face regarding this problem of these tariffs and these AMPs that we have as a challenge. So it is a great challenge that we are facing it in our communities, and we would request for the municipality to please come and address our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paulus. I must mention that, councillors, we need to stick to the item. We understand the challenges, but the items on the agenda are the items of business, and we're asking that you please address the bylaws and not other items. The next party to speak is the Good Party. Councillor Lowe, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker Good takes note of this item. We are also taking note that it has actually been workshopped, unlike other policies which have not been workshopped but approved. As Good, we will be watching the public participation program very closely. This council has a history of saying they will come back to the community and then it never happens. It is our job and every opposition party's job to ensure that the public participation is done with all our communities. We will wait for this item to come back to council and watch the public participation. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next party to speak on this item is Councillor Peterson. You have 2 minutes.
Meneer die Speaker, ons as die PBI is nie ten gunste van bywette en beleide waar die munisipaliteit reëls en regulasies probeer afdwing wat ten nadeel van ons mense is nie. Die elektrisiteitssituasie in ons land is kritiek en vereis 'n werkbare oplossing tot voordeel van almal. Die onnodige gereedheid wat veroorsaak word met bywette en beleide is nie tot voordeel van ons mense nie. Die infrastruktuur in ons dorp is kommerwekkend en vereis spoedige optrede. Die feit dat loadshedding vir alles blameer word is ook kommerwekkend. Die burgemeester probeer George verkoop as 'n smart city, tog is die toestand van ons infrastruktuur kommerwekkend. In baie gevalle is verbruikers vir ure sonder elektrisiteit, tog word tariewe bo die verbruikersinflasiekoers verhoog. Ons kan nie bloed uit 'n klip tap ten einde na die belange van sekeres om te sien nie. Meneer die Speaker, publieke deelname is van kardinale belang met die instelling van bywette en die publiek se insette is noodsaaklik ten einde deursigtigheid te bevorder. Die feit dat die publiek nie geken was in die implementering van die 20 ampere stroombreker verlaging nie is kommerwekkend en vereis ondersoek. Die feit dat daar gesê word dat 70% deernisverbruikers tevrede was, moet bewys word aangesien dit nie die inligting op die grond weerspieël nie. Verder was befondsing ontvang van die nasionale regering wat juist tot hulp van die armstes vir die armstes van die armstes moet wees. Meneer die Speaker, ons vra dat die regte publieke deelnameprosesse eers gevolg word alvorens dit voor die raad kom. Dankie.
Mr. Paulus.
Thank you, Speaker. I-TPBI yona is not in favor nale bylaw okanye ayingqinelani nalo mgaqo-nkqubo obekiweyo apha, ngoba ikhangeleke ngathi umgaqo-nkqubo obekiweyo apha ngumgaqo-nkqubo ocinezela abantu bethu. Futhi ke abantu bethu ingathi sisekulaa mihla yakudala apho abantu babengenamalungelo ukuthi mabathethe ngoba izinto zivele nje zenziwe abantu bengakhange bakwaziwa kubo. Uthi sijongene neproblem enkulu kakhulu apha elizweni ye-load shedding apho abantu bakuthi balala imihla ngemihla ngamaxesha amaninzi bengenambane okanye bengenasikhanyiselo. Izingxaki esijongene nazo kufike naye umasipala ongeze ingxaki uthi ingxaki ibikhona yale 20 amp apha abantu okanye uluntu belinengxaki enkulu ngoba zange baconsult okanye zange kuziwe kuba bazoxelela malunga abantu abaninzi babona nje sokufakwa ezi nkqubo zombane futhi ke nombane omncinci abawufumanayo zingxaki ezikhoyo ezicinezela abantu uthethe ke malunga nayo 70% ye-indigen apho ke abantu abaninzi baye bafumana ingxaki ukuthi bangakwalifayo okanye bangakwazi ukufakwa kuluhlu labantu abacinyelwa amatyala ngokwabantu abangathathi ntweni. Uthi ke injongo yethu ukuthi xa sihleli kweli bhunga kuthi kujonge abantu abangathathi ntweni, abantu abakwimeko apho kuzofikelwa kuzo. Kodwa ngoku xa sizothi sihleli thina sibe sicinezela iimeko zabantu ngokwendlela locinezelo lakudala, leyo into ethetha ukuthi abantu bakuthi asibajongeli futhi namalungelo wabo siyawacinezela. Ngoko ke thina siyi-PBI asivumelani kwaphela nalo mgaqo-nkqubo futhi ke sizayijonga nale program yokuthatha inxaxheba loluntu apho abantu sizojonga into yobana bayaziswa ngokufanelekileyo malunga nalo mgaqo-nkqubo notshintsho oluninzi olukhoyo lenzekayo.
Thank you very much. The next party to speak on this item is the EFF. Councillor Tampi, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, according to this bylaw, we as the EFF, we cannot support this bylaw due to the fact that we are losing lives because of the carelessness that our municipality failed to accommodate our people in informal settlements. Because last week we lost a child in New Valley due to these illegal connections that you guys are ignoring so much. Now I'm asking myself, how much life should we lose in Thembalethu? How much children should die here in Thembalethu for you guys to take up an action, to take up a stand? You know, Speaker, it's so sad that you say this bylaw has been workshopped, but one of your officials, the last time we held the meeting here in Thembalethu, the community meeting, he said to us, our municipality fears to send out their officials to Thembalethu for their lives. Which means our bylaws are not being workshopped in Thembalethu because you fear for your officials. Yeah, those people, they vote, they have faith in you guys when it's the time to vote. It is not fair for our people. Yet you must come here and say you must admit to this thing. It's not fair. We know that ESCOM
Thank you, Councillor.
We know that
Thank you,
ESCOM
Councillor.
And you as
Thank you, Councillor.
means
Thank
to
you.
accommodate the situation.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Your time is up, and we get what you were saying. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Smart. Unfortunately, he's unavailable. We therefore go to the last speaker on this item, Councillor Barnard. You have 1 minute, please.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, we all know that this bylaw was workshopped with all councillors. So I find it quite strange that all these comments are made now and were not made in that workshop, which was the right place to do it. However, despite that, I need to say that once more, this will be going to public participation before it comes back to council, and the public participation that takes place will be considered before it finally comes back to council. So therefore, I propose that we accept this recommendation as put to you by my colleague, Councillor Mbete. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor. That item is therefore concluded and will therefore go out for public participation as per the item written. We now move on to item 4.7, and I'm going to ask that the Mayor do the tabling of an adjustment budget for 2020-23. Mayor, you tabled your adjustment.
Thank you, Speaker. Yes, it's indeed a pleasure and a privilege to be able to table this adjustment budget, and I think as Council will be aware that in terms of Section 28(2)(b) of the MFMA, we need to bring an adjustment budget to Council, and that's also we need to deal with that in terms of the municipal budget and reporting regulations, where Council is then made aware within 60 days after the approval of the relevant national or provincial adjustments budget to bring that those items then to Council. Now, we are indeed in the fortunate position that in terms of the RBIG, which is the Regional Bulk Infrastructure Grant, we are receiving an additional 134.248 million rand And in terms of the public transport network grant, the PTNG, we're receiving an additional 45.69 million rand. Now, these amounts have been transferred to us as of the end of March 2023, being the financial year end of government and province. And we are now expected to spend that money as soon as possible. Now, these funds will result in our total capital budget for this financial year to increase from 1,018 million rand to 1,147 million rand. So it's a considerable increase there of 129 million that will be spent additionally on capital budget, and the balance of the amount of almost 180 million will then be spent in terms of the operating budget. Now, the main beneficiaries of these amounts will be the extension of the waterworks of about 89 million rand, the rehabilitation of one of the modules. It's a 6 megalitre module on the old waterworks of about 13 million rand work going to be done there. And then Ingakani Street will receive 20 million rand in terms of the refurbishment of that road and its upgrading, along with Tabata Street of 14 million rand and Golf Street 8 million rand. So it is indeed a pleasure then to table these adjustments before Council. Thank you, Speaker.
Very much, Alderman. The first person to speak on this.
Speaker, am I allowed to talk?
No, you're not allowed to talk, Councillor. I'm busy talking to the next person to speak on the item, and that's Councillor Wessels, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thanks to the Mayor for the thorough tabling of the proposed adjustment budget. So just to confirm, the adjustments that needs to be brought in is under the regional bulk infrastructure grant. That's in civil engineering services. And that equates to just over 134 million rand. And then on the public transport network grant, that's also in civil engineering services, and that is 45,690,000 rand. For the upgrades of Tabata, Nkoni, and in Golf Street. Well done to the Civil Department for the extreme hard work and the ability to deliver the services in those areas. So I will then propose the recommendation A, B, and C. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is the ANC, and Councillor F. Mdaka, you may now speak for 2 minutes.
Nkosi kakhulu, Speaker. Yo, thank you, African National Congress, for giving George this money so that at least our areas can benefit. But anyway, again, we know that you are doing this for Go George, because you are fixing the roads for Go George. Those are the main roads that Go George will travel on. It's not inside in the wards where people live. The national said, you land the money, here is the money, use it for our people. But what you do the national roads. National roads, I'm repeating, because Tabata and Ngakani looks like national roads here in George. So that's why you are fixing those roads. And please make sure when you do spend the money, spend the whole amount. I would like to see the detailed report after everything, after all these drills have been done, because we've got a problem about that. We spend the money, we don't get the report how the money was actually spent. Furthermore, I would like to say again, thank you, African National Congress, for bringing this money in George. Please, please, if the civil can start now in Golf Street. Golf Street is a mess. The bus are traveling there, the taxis are traveling there, cars are traveling there in Golf Street, but that street is a mess. So please, go and spend the national government money wisely. Thank you. For once, George is listening to the national. For once, you are spending the money where the people lives, where the people which are non-whites are living. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramaphosa.
Thank you, Ramaphosa.
Thank you, President
Thank you. Thank you, councillors. You were not on the speakers list, councillor. I'm going to ask you to please refrain from making comments if you're not on the speakers list. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Masase. You have 2 minutes, please.
Thank you, Speaker. The Good Party takes note of the item before us and its recommendations. We are grateful for the grants that have been allocated to the municipality by National Treasury. As we always say, when we receive grants, it is important that the grants be effectively used for service delivery and that they are utilized within the timeframes that are stipulated by the grantor, which in this case is National Treasury. These funds are said to be used for civil engineering services, a function that requires a lot of attention and funding, and it is responsible for infrastructure development. According to the scope by National Treasury, the infrastructure grants are meant to address infrastructure challenges or projects relating to water and sanitation, transport, cooperative governance, and electrification, among others. Good will continue to be a voice for the underprivileged communities in George, and we once again ask the municipality to always ensure that underprivileged areas get the attention they deserve when it comes to the allocation of resources, and it is no exception when it comes to infrastructure development in their areas. As we know, there is still a lot that needs to be done to upgrade infrastructure in many of our communities. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Peterson. You have 3 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, we note that additional funding were received from National Treasury. We also note the haste in which this item is brought before Council. Our question is, will this funding ever be utilized before the end of the current financial year? We know that the bulk of this funding is for infrastructure. We must however make known our dismayed projects being rushed and not delivered as per tender conditions. We want to make mention specifically about the circles being erected in York Street that is becoming a nightmare for motorists. Whenever big trucks make use of one lane, the other vehicles must stop till it is safe to proceed. Why the road is designed like that, only the people who approve the project will know. Mr. Speaker, we notice in the budget tables that an amount of 23 million is allocated for smart water meters. We as the PBI are totally against the concept of smart water meters and propose that this monies be allocated for service delivery. These meters do not even work effectively in first world countries. Mr. Mayor, we are a third world country, and the equity of services being rendered in your smart city or town is evident. Your concept of a smart city is only a pipe dream, like the sport mecca concept that your party wants to introduce. Smart meters have got many disadvantages that needs to be highlighted. Turbulence and sediments in the meters will have a restricting effect on the meter, high deployment and maintenance costs, weak communication skills, and in some cases even power cabling challenges due to theft, etc. We further want to place it on record that the manner in which the introduction of the 20 imps for indigent consumers were done is disingenuous. Many indigent consumers are being threatened that they will lose their subsidy if they do not comply with the condition. No public participation exercise were done to bring this to effect. The George municipality received a DORA grant for indigent consumers based on a specific number. We would like to know, as a matter of urgency, what happens to the indigent grants once the consumers are taken off the indigent register who do not comply with your 20 amp policy. We will be seeking relief through the necessary law enforcement agency to this effect. Mr. Speaker, we further want to request the officials of not falling into the trap of dumping, where funds that could not be spent by departments is transferred to eager municipalities with stringent conditions, forcing them to comply with to the detriment of the consumers. We urge you to ensure that the conditions that are placed on these grants are to be followed strictly, and if not possible, that the right thing must be done and not to look for a scapegoat to take the fall. Mr. Speaker, we further want to ask that tariffs are not increased above the CIPX, as is evident in the proposed tariff increases. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. The next person to speak on this item is Councillor Plumpy. You have 1 minute, please.
Sorry, Speaker.
Sorry, my apologies. If Councillor Camilla, you have 1 minute. Is Councillor Camilla in the meeting?
He did indicate.
Speaker.
Thank you. You have 1 minute. It starts now.
Speaker, thina si-EFF sifuna ukuthi sizijongile ezi project especially ezisuka kuNdlunkulu. Kwaye ke sifuna ukuxelela ke umasipala waseGeorge ukuthi makangayenzi into yokuba ibe lityholo lokusithela ezi project njengokuba siyazi okokuba siya kwi-2024 elections apho bona bazawuthatha khona imali yokuthi bakhampeyinele iminyaka elandelayo. Ifuna ukuthi ke ayazi umasipala basijongile kwaye ke sizazimonitorisha ezi situation nezi project ke zikalantuza zikaNdlunkulu especially kazisiza kwicala ke laseThemba Lethu ngoba siyayazi okokuba uNelson Mandela Boulevard zange ke upgradewe ngendlela eyiyo eziba sibona ba namanzi kakunethile izantyalantyala yadama eFour Stop ukuya ke phambili. So sizama ukuthi ke ne-civil engineer ezizamonitorisha.
Thank you, Councillor. Your time is up.
Sizazibeka emehlweni. Inkosi.
We as the EFF want to say we are actually watching and monitoring these projects that are actually being funded by National. We want to say that you must not think that you hide behind this project. As we know that we are approaching the 2024 elections, we will be watching you because you must not think that you will take from these funds and start canvassing using these funds. We will be monitoring you very well, and so that we may not hide behind these projects. And we want to say that, especially the projects that will be done in Themba Lethu, we will be monitoring them. And we know that the Nelson Mandela Boulevard, the project that was done there, it was not properly done because we are facing problems and challenges, especially when it is raining. So we are facing with those problems when it comes to such projects. So we will be watching you as the EFF. Thank you. Scott.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pullis. The last person to speak on this item is Councillor van Branders. You have 1.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I also want to take the opportunity to thank the ANC for not spending in the municipalities they run. So it gets reallocated to our municipality where they also know where we govern, we deliver services. So with that, I want to second the recommendation made by my colleague, Councillor Wessels.
Thank you very much, Councillor van Branders. The adjustment budget is therefore carried. Ladies and gentlemen, councillors, administration, that brings us to the end of our meeting for today. Councillor Peterson, the rules are quite clear. Your hand is up, but I do not know for what. And I have not recognized your hand. Please excuse me. You can put your microphone off.
Speaker, Councillor Peterson has said that he will make a counter proposal.
There was no counter proposal. There was not a counter proposal when you spoke.
He said that in his speech. They are busy typing it now.
If you could just hold on a second, I'm actually going to listen to the sound clip on that because there was no counter proposal made during that.
Speaker, sorry, I just made the counter proposal.
Councillor, just 1 second. I'm busy going back on the recording. I want to confirm because I did not hear anything, and nobody that I can confirm with heard anywhere a mention of a counter proposal. So please hold on. I'm going back to the recording to confirm. Councillors, before I adjourn this meeting, I'm going to ask for a 5-minute body break so I can go through the recording to confirm. And I'm going to ask that we reconvene at 1:45. Just hold on a second. Sorry, 10:02 on my watch. 10 to 12, we'll reconvene. I'm going back to the recording. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. I have gone through the entire 3 minutes of Councillor Peterson, and there was no mention of a counter proposal. I am therefore going to object to any further interference or any further debate in this matter. The matter has been seconded, and therefore the item carries. I am therefore going to announce that this meeting is adjourned. I thank you for your time. I thank the public for their time, and we will see each other again on the 26th of this month. Thank you very much. This meeting is now adjourned.